What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Cozy Jones and I'm back again with another video. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about Terry Crews and D.L. Hughley. Now, during the height of the Me Too movement, Terry Crews came out and admitted that he was sexually assaulted by one of the Hollywood elites. Now, this was apparently a bigger issue than what we all thought because he actually spoke to Congress about this. Like, he went in front of Congress and spoke, talking about how men should hold other men accountable and this, that, and the third. But much to many's confusion, a lot of people didn't understand why he, of all people, would be sexually assaulted. And I will understand why they would have those kind of thoughts. Now, if you know what Terry Crews looks like, you would see that he's a very built, muscle-bound, meathead, buff, in-shape kind of guy. So the last thing you would think that would happen to someone who looks like that is that they get sexually assaulted. But it happens to a lot of people that you don't think it would happen to. But despite him looking like that, Terry Crews, if you watch him speak, if you see him joke around, he's a very approachable guy. At least he comes off that way. Very approachable. So he was pretty much maligned by men, you know, his contemporaries, at least a few of them. One in particular being D.L. Hughley, a comedian. Now, most of you may know him from his Kings of Comedy tour, you know, along the sides of Bernie Mac, Steve Harvey, and what's the other guy's name? Cedric the Entertainer. So he came out and was very skeptical about Terry Crews admitting what he did, which I thought was very strange. Now, I want you guys to look at this clip real quick, and then I'm going to give you guys my opinion. Roll it.
What do you think of the whole Terry Crews thing?
I think it's hard for me to think that a dude with all those muscles can't tell an agent to not touch his ass.
His ass or his dick?
Whatever.
Whatever he touched.
I just do. I don't understand. I think that now everybody's so into this notion that it happened to me too. Hey, motherfucker, God gave you muscles so you can say no and mean it.
Now, as you guys saw, the matter was a joke to them. For those who don't know, the white person speaking in the background is a Russian, I believe, or whatever he's from, Ukraine or what have you. That's DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad was laughing because he thought this issue was a joke. So what you guys fail to realize is we could look at this situation as a practical situation or a logical situation. Now, if we're being practical, you see someone like a Terry Crews, and then you will say, man, you do that, you touch me like that, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. I'm going to beat you up. That would be the practical approach. But is that the smart thing to do in his position? No, it wouldn't be. If he wants to continue acting in Hollywood, he has to toe the line. He has to toe the line, or he will be blackballed. Now, people like Tyler Perry, who creates their own movies, who stars it, he produces and directs his own films, and stars in his own films, he wouldn't have that kind of problem, you know, because he's not relying on Hollywood. But Terry Crews is not Tyler Perry, so Terry Crews is going to toe the line. Any man that's willing to admit that he was sexually assaulted, any man, that takes courage. That takes courage. Because I know guys that will lie from the moon and back to their girl, to their best friend, or what have you, about, you know, being sexually assaulted or raped in jail or things of that nature. So I knew it took him a lot of courage to admit that and say that. So I do applaud him for that. Terry Crews, that is. I do applaud him for that. But D.L. Hughley and DJ Vlad think this is a joke. They think it's a game. You know what they won't joke about during an interview like that? Any woman being sexually assaulted or raped. They won't laugh about that. They won't joke about that. But when these things happen to men, it's funny. Why is it funny? I find it very, very odd that D.L. Hughley of all people, trying to tell another man how to be a man. D.L. Hughley, the same man that cheated on his wife. That D.L. Hughley, the same man who had a child outside of his marriage. That D.L. Hughley, the same man who wished death upon this child because there was a cloud hovering over his head for having a child out of his marriage. That D.L. Hughley. And when the child passed away, he found relief in that, because he no longer had a connection or ties with the other woman that wasn't his wife, that he had that child with. That D.L. Hughley. The same D.L. Hughley who has a tattoo of Che Guevara on his arm. And for those of you who know who Che Guevara is, you know, he was, I don't want to say he was close to Fidel Castro, but do your research and you'll see why that's just messed up. As a black man should be having a Che Guevara tattoo on his arm. But that D.L. Hughley is trying to teach another man how to be a man. Or essentially, he's weak, basically. That's essentially what he's saying. That D.L. Hughley, one thing I've noticed as a black man growing up in America, one thing that I've really noticed is in the black community, we're not allowed to speak on our feelings. We're not allowed to speak on homosexuality. We're not allowed to speak on mental illness, things of that nature. It's like, it's so taboo in the black community. If you speak on any one of those things, you're considered weak, effeminate, so on and so forth. I don't know why. To D.L. Hughley, I say to you, sir, you need to grow the hell up. Grow the hell up. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe. In the comment below, tell me if you agree or disagree. Yeah, very distasteful from D.L. Hughley. It's your boy Cozy Jones, and I'm out.